my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind, and I can see the horizon, it's calling my name. I leave it all behind. I'll rise above all that I hold dear. I'll never fall. I'll always soar across the sky. I wanna fly through the night and feel what I used to be. I wanna run away where I can soar across the sky. And so my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind, and I can see the horizon, it's calling my name. I leave it all behind. I'll rise above all that I hold dear. I'll never fall. I'll always soar across the sky. I will never, and I will never fall. I will never, I will never, I will never fall.
Good evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. We had a little bug show up where you can no longer inspect lives because we sent data here without the population information because JavaScript doesn't need it, but then we're using our same encoder to bring it back. We don't have population fields. I guess we could make them optional. Although I'm wondering if maybe we should actually just kind of deal with the fact that it could be a different data structure. I mean, certainly JavaScript throwing some extra data fields on there that we can just kind of ignore. I guess it's going to be kind of annoying to define that, but it does now. And we have the encoder and the decoder for the translation, but it would give Leaflet its own definition of what kind of lives it talks about. We do have encoders and decoders in here. Do we know lives? No. All right, because you had encode and decode modules. Lives. You know, I wouldn't have to have the data subfield in there. Oh, okay. So this is. Oh, is this just. Is this dead now? I think this is dead now. Maybe we've still got it in there in case you want to switch back to JavaScript temporarily or to JSON. Right, because that's a decode module. Yeah, so we're actually getting it now from somewhere else. Oh, did I decode.lives? Ah, these things are still using that method. Okay. So you have your life without the population. There's the format coming from there, which we used to send straight over, so it was using the same format. And we've been. I thought we were re-encoding this to. Encode.o. So we were putting dummy fields in because we weren't actually pulling that out into our life records. And then these didn't encode it at all. Now, I think the only reason this exists for the most part is indeed to send stuff to Leaflet. Code.lives, encode.lives, persist.encode, leaflet.monument list. So this is almost a leaflet encode thing, but I was using the same transport formats as. Yeah, so that's kind of the only reason that exists. But now we're not actually doing translations directly with you. We have not so far had specific encoders and decoders for this, because it just had like little bits of stuff. Oh, you were directly importing a whole data encode. Yeah, there's the worlds. But that would only deal with those data types. Which thing? Data layer. So this has already gone through a parser. We're not sticking population from live, so this is still server data format actually. So in fact, the data is there on this one. But would we really be able to count? Yeah, we won't be able to count on it going forward. And then there's the fact that we initially implemented this. Well, we removed the actual call to that, which means we're not depending on that decoding this anymore. Except that the data structure we're using here is used for both. So a server life does that record type has those fields because we're going to decode it from the new format. Well, we're technically getting lives back from Leaflet and not from the server in that case, which means we could do the separate decoder, and they could, which would have the advantage that they can continue to go their own way afterwards. We just duplicate this, and we have to have the encoder and the decoder for Leaflet. And the whole data encoders almost aren't used anymore then? Because they were mainly for re-encoding things back to the same format to talk to JavaScript. So we get an event, which is select points, so it is indeed decode.live, which is coming out of how many things does that break? Okay, timestamp. Oh, it just stops at the first one. There's all data, there's JSON. Yeah, all of these messages are doing like encoding and decoding. That's kind of what this entire thing is. We can solve our immediate problem by having a leaflet life type. But you also have to receive that. Which is pretty much going to match the internal map life type. You're going to be in model. Leaflet doesn't import model, does it? Good. All right, animatable event point color, point location, animatable. So kind of got a bunch of stuff up here. All right. So first of all, does this cause any aliasing issues? Okay. Do we have any other life instances? We have data.life. So these are all going to become leaflet life. Which means we have to have the encoders and decoders before we can do useful things with that. You use a couple helper functions. And maybe I need to look at... We lost it. Was that encode or decode? I think that was decode. No, that was encode. Oh, but this was in the context of it's only an encoder or decoder. So I'm going to have to change those names because we're basically going to need those on both ends. Unless we extract a like leaflet encode and leaflet encode with things that are maybe not just things that are like the message, maybe the messages stay here. And these are the things we export. And then there's the whole event thing, which is, it's a little bit internal. But it's also part of the communication protocol-ish. And so there's like point decoder, there's animatable decoder. Event is sort of like its own little type. Although we have to have a thing that defined. Yeah, you'd have to have a module to define the data type for event. I guess that's a decode only, so you could do it there. Maybe we leave that one alone for now and just start defining things for the more complex types. Just to give us namespaces for like timestamps and things. I don't think we've had a directory for that so far. Yeah. And this is like our specific version of Leaflet. It's not even a generic interface. All right. Data code. Source leaflet encode.elm. Lives. Nothing else. I know we need timestamp. I don't know about that one. Shoot. Where did I put the life type? I could just have like a leaflet types. And then I would just re-expose anything that we cared about. And then we would be able to have the event type and do that, and you could actually move out the decoder for events. But then where's the encoder for commands? Well, it becomes an asymmetry. Oh, and this is importing our types. Timestamp. Oh, and maybe. Where do we put the types? Leaflet encode, import leaflet.types. We're not even touching this module yet, so that's what the compiler isn't complaining. And we're actually going to have to be able to encode and decode because now we're going to change our data types. Because they're not going to be compatible. All right, lives. We can prove some other small things in here. We might. We did like worlds and some other things that are still just using straight up. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, it's like lives would become. Why did you have pars? Oh, so that's some of those types. Oh, yeah. So you're going to be local. I guess L's before O. But I might care about the order for these. That's probably going to mess something up. Oh, or maybe we were just scrolled up. Leaflet.decoder, first of all. Okay, so you used a POSIX. So import time. And this is really only a one-off. Okay, so it's not a one-off. It's a two-off. All right, leaflet decode. And then, right, because this specifically doesn't have these fields. Oh, did you have a different order? You did, but this is actually probably going to be closer to the transport format. So really we should be going to a whole data life. And then just removing these fields. Oh, so you don't override because it's ambiguous. So we can't just cheese this. Okay, encode.worlds. Did I type this? We did. Oh. Okay. That was an encode field. So I did need you. And then we're probably getting past the wrong thing here. To data.life, which we have declared differently here. Data.life is the specific thing we're working on here. This is going to be, all of this stuff is going to transfer into leaflet lives, which pushes the problem back to here. So it was server life. So you're not a server life anymore. And from your perspective, we want to do can I say, or do I have to do this as a less convenient thing? Okay, so we're back to map UI. Okay, so server life, leaflet life. So now these two fields that we simply cannot generate. Okay, so 518. So this is a leaflet life, which at the moment is actually type alias compatible. Or not. Is it a derived field? Let's see, so generation. That is a thing we use on the map. Wait, where's server life? Ah, it's chain. If we're doing transport format, then oh right, our life called it generation. It was chain in there. You were a data.life. You know what? I could do this as a partial record, but I have to specify every single field. I could also just not specify the type and it'd figure it out. Oh, interesting. Data life was generation and our life was actually chain. No, that's, yeah. Other way. It might be accidental that but these are the same right now. Yeah, this is the only type that we ever translate back to there. Oh, you just don't use this anymore. Right, so this does get us back down here. All right, we actually took this function out of 518. All right, so matching lives. So this is another one of those points where we have not. We're probably going to be touching soon. Oh, this is a function we haven't converted over, isn't it? So display results. Oh no, I converted you. I haven't converted map. Is it matching lives? Oh, this is a fetch. But this was just a server JSON before. It is decoded. It's from a server. Do I have to my life and then server life? So what are we doing there? We are dropping the population fields. Which we don't care about here. This is going to change to the new parser. So we are going to have to parse and re-encode. It's just that there's a translation of all right, so that will end up taking care of this. Well, this is going to happen. It's just that you might want to let it. And your leaflet. Oh, this is singular. I mean, you're kind of singular too now. Okay, it's compilable. So we already had the search up, and we can do that again. All right, so in and of itself, that was that bug fix. It's the data type changes. We will hit more similar issues as we convert these other things to parsers. Code pop from records. Looped back from leaflet. No, it was actually missing. No, actually, there's... So leaflet's not doing encode.life. Or it would be whole data encode. Map UI, probably the only other place we do that. That's just encode.life. So I think, actually, for cleanliness... Is there anything that uses life here? Yeah. What if we just started by not exposing these? Map UI, leaflet.data layer. Okay. Well, this gets back more to what we were dealing with before with moving things, so it's probably okay not to do it as well part of that. This, we should probably have a thing that lets leaflet do its own encoding on that front. But data layer was kind of this thing where we sort of converted over. Can we do that with a space, please? So lineage lives is still doing a value. When that changes, we're going to be doing all the encoding. Okay, so fixing that thing will somehow change this. This is a re-encoding. So this is the thing we already changed. We sort of bootstrapped it back by, well, a JSON value. So that is a thing we would have to do. This is encoding our life to OHOL data, but it was just a generic JSON value. So it would be better to send leaflet lives there, which from the other thing we did, we have the means to do that. Let's see, so right now, so as an interim method, we can start doing full decodes of the JSON and re-encodes, which will make more sense once we're doing the parsing. And it's getting dark. Okay, so encode.lives, this is going to be, I guess what we want to end up with is that data layer takes a life, or a list of life, and that should push those type errors back to map UI. All right, so this can just be empty array. So though a couple of these will just solve themselves here. That's encoding. All right, so those are server lives. We're going to have to fix that. Here's an easy one. That's the other easy one. That's a value. So we're going to, okay, so this is also remote data, JSON decode. Okay, so decode.lives. So technically, we're doing that and we're doing that. Okay, so we're putting it into remote data immediately. Right, because that accounts for the JSON decode errors. How do we deal with, I guess, with default something here? All right, but that puts you into remote data. That'll end up being a parser step, and then we need to re-encode. Yeah. Now, I guess one option here is we just say, well, if decode fails, we probably just do want to clear it. Okay. So data layer. So this is the one where we actually are parsing it out. So instead of encoding, we need to do this little translation. Oh, are you? Your server lives. So this seems a little wasteful. Maybe we want the direct path. It would basically just be a narrowing out of the population values. And this is a data layer, so this is actually going to be doing some pretty big values a lot. All right, so we're going to parse that. We want the thing. It's basically just one word that changes. Maybe should our life be a leaflet life? Should we just import that? We'd have to go through. So my life is generation. The raw server data is chain. I'd have to go modify the JavaScript, which doesn't have type checks, for the chain field. But they're like literally the only difference. Well, part of the point of this was to make sure that those things could diverge further if they needed to. Just for efficiency, we'd want to have that one-step process. So that's life to leaflet. And this could probably actually be an identity for now. Well, no, it's actually not an identity. We still have to narrow. All right, so now I'll hold data encode. Nobody's bothered. We still use timestamps. All right, so that shuffles around the rest of the internal types and adds encode decode steps in a couple places. Does leaflet ever deal with decode event, object bounds? Yes, that's a pass through. That's a pass through. But that should be all the life cases. I don't know if that gets rid of any significant other things for us. I think we did all the types on leaflet end, except for that value which didn't show up. Okay. So then the thing is that we have query returns. Okay, so lineage lives is a value. That is... No, we still have both query methods right now. We just have to see where you come back from. And switch you over to our other method. Is it expect... what did I even call this? Fetch data layer? Expect string parse. Well, I guess really, for the most part, it's this stuff that changes. And then it becomes a request. All right, expect string par. Should indeed be parse lives. It becomes a lineage lives with a life.server ID. Okay, and then that's going to change your return type. So instead of a value, you are going to be a list data.life. Yeah, it's still data.life. It's going to affect you. Oh. Oh, you actually had a JSON decode, which is what was putting it into data. So that will actually wash out the error and push it down here. So this doesn't have to be in remote data anymore, really. Okay, one down. List data.life. Is it value that we would be? And then we got the value. Data.life. So data layer we just did. So it's matching lives. Oh, but this is actually a code test. Do we actually return them? Okay, so that was lineage lives. So we need to... We didn't do a search there. Or we broke something. Could you not do that, please? Okay, we did make a query. We did get a data response. And shoot, I haven't tested this in a bit. It was... Stop it. Yeah, we're getting data. We're not displaying it. Show! Right, because we were messing with the whole transport to JavaScript. So are you getting data? Kind data layer lives. I guess we still got this data container in here. Okay, that looks like stuff. It's getting annotated. Why you no show this? Oh, are we just doing... Yeah, life data layer is on. Data for each. This should tell us if we actually processed anything without having to iterate every point. Okay, that looks like reasonable stuff. So did we just somehow like leave out a field? Oh, we had problems with maybe this is that generation chain. Oh no, it's cause of death. JavaScript never had to deal with that before. It's like, wait, I had this bug and then I fixed it. All right, so a whole data. A life. Oh. So you encode that as death cause. Model. Okay, so we can't just round trip this. Data layer. We actually have to do the direct processing of it. Okay, well, okay, so that's server to leaflet. Oh, but did I copy the thing that... Yeah. I copied that. But a server to leaflet actually should have a death cause. There we go. And that is actually a patch on the previous one. All right, probably should have stashed this other stuff. But when you're a couple steps in and nothing, things stop working, you just want to make sure you get it fixed. All right. Lineage lives. Oh, we were in the process of saying that this actually gets a little bit easier. And actually what we just learned from our other thing is we don't two-step this. We go from server lives This is a little bit unfortunate. I guess they're both throwing out population. And you have to get your data tag on. And this is the slightly annoying one. So fetch data layer. Fetch lineage. All right, expect string, parse lives. Lineage lives, no range, server ID. Five, 7, 9. This could probably be, we don't need the let block here anymore because we don't need the intermediate value. Right, your life.server ID. We forgot to change this to request. Okay, so that's still working. Just double check. That's new format. All right, do we have... I mean, I guess from our previous experience, maybe we want to baby step this. And it was matching lives. Which is already listed at .life, so that's okay. This .left my lap. Display results. Okay, so yeah, this is actually almost fine. So first of all, there's that, so we don't drop the death cause. I don't know if we ever display it there. And then the thing that fetches this needs to do this. All right. matching lives. You have no arguments. Now, I don't know if this comes back on points. All right, so we saw a name there. Actually, that was probably something else. Oh, well, that works. It's a search. It got results, and they were in new format. And list data.life. That should be all of those. We already got the decode.values. Population and other queries. Let's see, your tech, this is actually overlaps this, so I don't know if we want to do that here. A lineage search, oh, you were an old one. Could technically have server population. I guess there could be an ambiguity there. Is it server population or is it lineage population? Might be an interesting thing to have. Actually, the birth death format would have done that just fine, but that's not what we encode in the server data. Well, lineage would never go over restart, so I guess I could go back to the birth death counting. I could even overlay both. Do an extra special mode. You can kind of see that in the dots. All right, map UI. So population. Lineage lives not requested, and lineage lives is where we can do it. Population from lives, that is the server lives. We call it server lives here. Now we did have results here before, so I guess, well, this, okay, we're not in time mode. Well, there's the Eve. And that looks like very few members of the family. Population on lineage queries, or population graph on lineage results. All right, so data transfer wise, let's get back. Oh, did we just already have that? Oh. Okay, so minor bug. Daily review after clicking lineage lookup does nothing. All right. So we are 132. All right, and if we were to break this and try going over to server to see if we'd encoded death reasons. Point presenter. Oh, that really is compact. Do I use you anywhere? Hmm. I was probably originally trying to do just points, then we started doing all the extra data dimensions. All right, as plane. And we could technically apply this to you as well, but... All right, so you're just text. I'm forgetting the exact syntax for this, because I forget if it's semicolons or colons. Okay, there are no examples. I guess I could also do a lookup table for this. But this lets us take care of the null case. All right, so I guess we only care about the common ones. And then there's the killer, which we could compact a little bit, but that's about it. When hunger. I mean, we could probably we might even be able to take first letter. Hunger, disconnect, old age. And I can look up what the ones I've got codes for, which pretty much covers everything. Okay, killer is... Oh, this is not... Well, actually, you can do regexes, right? X dot replace. All right, so here, killer, hunger, old age, disconnect, and I think unknown is like literally nil. But otherwise, we won't translate it, so it'll be kind of okay. This could be an opening to have an enumeration in Elm. Although we'd have to translate it back to string for JavaScript. Oh, and is it just else, or is it like otherwise? No, it's else. All right, so that's going to make Elm mad. Oh, no, that was actually a server error. That made Rails mad. Okay, you didn't have a death cause. And you're not translated. Oh, because I replaced text. We have an undefined method. So why did you get a result? How did you get a result? Oh, because we didn't do text. Given to expected 1 in replace. Okay, so this is actually sub. All right, so DH, where's our killer, and probably a little bit faster to go here. 123, so it saves us something. So in our pars, a whole data pars, yeah. So we did have a death reason parser. It was just it was a trivial thing. So this is going to be a one of a bunch of tokens, which for the time being, to be compatible with other stuff, we would just translate to the strings. Is this really a symbol? And they're both tokens. All right, and we had oh, we did X outside of this. So are you a character? No, you're a string. Can we just do that? Because normally you do the eat, but it would be a function. Is that compilable valid? No. It's like, surely there must be a better way to do this. Because I have to do... I have to do that through the traditional... All right. Actually, no, you're not a function. What are these signatures? Okay, so that's taking one thing. A to parser of A. I mean, that's fine. Keyword. What are you yourself? Not all the examples, the thing itself. Oh, keyword is a. Parsing keywords is getting tricked by variables that start with a keyword. Well, these are. These can just be tokens, I guess. I must be using tokens elsewhere when I said symbol. So you're a parser. And you're a parser. But that parser demands something, and that parser, or that's a parser of nothing. And that's a parser of something. And then we've got these operators that, oh God, you're going to be everywhere in here. Pipelines. Parser keep, parser ignore, parser keep. Right, so that parses nothing and returns. That parses something and gives you a nothing, so it's the ignore. So you have to have both of them, and this is just one way to order it. I mean, maybe you could make a helper for this kind of thing that would make it a little bit less verbose. Okay, so this one gets a little bit more tricky. Because first of all, we're going to have a function. So the way we've done things like this before is there's a chomp if and then a chomp while. Oh boy, yeah, we don't want to chomp the first character though. We actually do want token and then an ID basically. Player ID? Yeah. Death reason. Except I went ahead and turned this into an int. Now we have to turn it back. Well, actually, I think that there's a car function for this. Is digit. I need a parenthesis on you. Yeah, I think I do. I could have done this as a whole function, but it was seems like a pretty small one. Now, whether you parse is another thing entirely. Oh, and you know what? We had a test suite for this, which is going to fail. The compilation failed. Well. So we have whole data. Oh, I might have added those since I did this. Yeah, that probably means they got... Were these in the data? I think that these were in the data. Unrelated life. So it should be a life. Okay. And you've reordered all of my fields. Was it after the times? Okay, so server, epoch, 31. And nothing. So that takes care of you. We've got a couple of these. That was just the first one, basically. Oh, no, How did you not have that? Oh, and this was a different one. Uh, 31. Death population equals nothing. Birth time. You were probably 32? Oh, did I not have death cause in here? Oh, I was throwing out cause. We actually have to run it through everything. Death population 30. Equals just 30. Unrelated life. Oh, yep, okay, so we did start pausing death causes. So in the record, it's the last thing. Oh, so this just wasn't even there to be tested before. So I guess we never technically tested the string version of it. All right, so you should be, for the moment, we'll see if we want to re-encode that later. we never tested all of the encodings. Okay, you're nothing. Named, birth, life. Maybe we did one of them and then we just kind of skipped past the others. So this is actually an error. No, it's saying okay. Did we, like, copy pasta change more than we should have? Those seem like reasonable edits. Oh, we reversed the order. I bet. Yep. Okay, so it at least does hunger. Looking for a no data marker, looking for hunger, looking for disconnect, looking for old age, looking for old age. This doesn't tell me the record it failed on. Right, because we had a data type before. Oh, you had to be optional before, right? Optional death reason. So that should take care of the X. Oh. Yeah, we didn't fix up anything here. That's why we had old age twice. Okay. Looking for no data marker. Looking for killer. I wish I could see which line you failed on. Is there anything else? A dead ends to string. Oh, that might be partially up to me. Well, can I actually get that? It might be that it just gives us, well, we can get this stuff and then get the source. Row column. So I basically need to start. So that's already there, which means we could go look it up. Context to string, we're just pulling out context. So we've got what? String dot from int row. String dot from int call. And if we were really fancy, we could, try to get source and stuff. Right. Oh, this thing isn't defined. It's just its own little record. And that probably is the entirety of the record. Oh, this is only here. We didn't get to a while. Okay, so your row column problem. Problem context stack. So this is a dead end, so this is a bit better defined. So probably actually this is the one we cared about. So problem was just a string. So what we could do is do position to string. Since it's context and problem. There's a way to get the whole record in here, isn't there? Or I just don't do the easy version of this. Which kind of means we have to do that here too, without looking up that trick. $55.81. I probably don't need the entire thing. So that's like 81 left. Oh, so that's like end of line. So it doesn't like O. Are you our first O? You're our first O. because we forgot to change the letter. I guess I should have tested those. Hey, we got points. And the death reasons are going through. So at this point, we're translating this into strings. And then it's just a field copy to go to JavaScript. If we translate it into some sort of enumerated value, then we have to translate it back to strings. I don't have a window for you. Oop. All right, so that takes care of that. Probably should be clearing these out soon. All right, so low pop line is a code thing. So we just have to add something. We call that generation? No, that'd be more like top level ages. Well, ages become worlds, right? Name start bottom layer generation, and then world has ends and spans. Yeah, so most stuff was in generation. This is not strictly part of generations, though. I mean, it does. Population for special biomes interacts with, like, specialists, but specialists, and then we went to bands. So it would change with this, but it's not really a generation parameter. I might eventually want to like make like a sub thing that's like settings. And technically, like all the generation stuff is settings, in a sense. Biome layer. Oh, that was the override. There are technically two levels. There's the there's low pop, because I think most things are at 15, but it could potentially be per mechanic. So this the thing that's causing us trouble though is 30. What is the actual setting? Min active players for probably special biomes. All right, we had all the denial of service, Eve placement stuff, specialty biomes. So it is min active players for special biomes. All right, so all of our biome layer things are going to have this. Oh, you technically don't exist here. I mean, in a sense, it's like some ridiculous number, but oop. And yes, some of these need to get changed. We're just trying to get it in. All right, so technically it's going to hit all of these other things too. And this is the worlds. Oh, do we have to do processing on this? Maybe age. Where did we biome layer? M age. Yeah, it's basically this. Okay. Specialists. All right, so once specialists come in, this becomes just 15. And then around... I closed it. Thought I was done. Guess I could have brought up my local copy. All right, so it was March 31st. This doesn't have a time of day. Can we see the restart? Oh, hey, test case. (2021-3). Oh, we've got some world boundaries in here. All right, so actually, there'd probably be a span break, wouldn't it? 30, 31. There's definitely seems like an irregularity here. So that was likely applied at 1305. So that's 20. So this is the 2103 31. We're in there. Yeah, you. 1805. Let's see, did this? When are we? So we're selected back here, but our time is here. It could be a little worrisome. Oh, you're 30. And we can use that to try and put a marker on our population graph. Does our view have timeline worlds? I might have to build that into, well, timeline.population. So this might be a model thing. What do you have? You have a full model, so we can probably get current world. That's worlds. Current worlds in range. Selected server. Ranges. Now it will technically vary over this, so we could technically map all worlds to data points. That's going to be technically and it changes instantaneous change, so it would be like flat lines. It'd almost be more like, I don't know if bar chart would be right. I don't know if Elm charts can deal with that. Oh, that's right. All the docs were in here. Bar charts, not a scatter. Stepped. Interpolated, stepped. Okay. So this is worlds, world to range, max time. We have worlds, current world, worlds in range. So this is population data. Although it does make this signature kind of wonky. And in the large scale view, it only changes once. So it wouldn't really be useful on the other graphs at all. And technically this, we only put samples where they exist. It would just be an empty list if nothing's in range. All right, so timeline population. Wait, is this the ranges? Ranges. That's data. Oh. Current spans, current worlds. So I might want to pull you out here. All right, current worlds, worlds in range. This is going, your max is going to be here. Pop.data, and then list dot, it is filter map. It's going to be maybe on the worlds dot min active players for special biomes. All right, so model, and this was a no-op in this case. I guess that could be a snap point. And then view. Map UI. What are you doing? Your move. This is reporting it, so I don't think we care here. All right, so your display timeline graph, so in fact you are going to want this. And now you're 4. All right, monuments. This is chart.rect. Were you not? Timeline graph. Yeah, timeline graph. So I guess I'm also able to just do boxes. Range. Okay, so series. Okay, so yeah, you're interpolated. So you are 2 series. Oh, but X is that. This is no. This is like of identity. But so this is of a different data series. Chart dot interpolated. All right, color we're going to have to see about, and then oh no, you do have to be pairs because you have to have a timestamp. And you're going to be of special, which our types are all wrong now. All right, and when we prepare this, yeah, so that was easy. So we have to, this is not easy. Is this, should this be part of population model? Well, we pulled out the data here, so we no longer have the entire model of it. Do we want a helper function for this? Do we have anything else that's doing sort of complicated? It's where we prepare population. So this would be like setting changes. Right now it's going to be that one particular property. Although if they were all maybes, we could pass the function that determined it. So you're going to be a list of world to a list of POSIX int. And we're going to give you a world to maybe int. All right, worlds. It is kind of a filter map if we look at it that way. Just value, then we have w.start value. And if it's nothing, we have nothing. Is that a... It's not quite a... It's a map over the result of this with the extra field. But so maybe that's actually not too bad. All right, so change the data type for that. So this wants to be worlds into, actually that thing. Setting changes. So the type works. There is no line. Okay. And that's a little bit messy. How about we do this? Okay. Oh, there's one change. I don't have the previous Oh, with interpolation maybe. It's just that the way it's being drawn right now, that's not useful. We'll see how interpolation handles this. Because it could be the start, so I might need to do like current time or throw an endpoint on there. I guess end of the timeline would work. Okay, so we need to throw. All right, ca.color, ca.stepped. All right, looks like we need the other endpoint. And a world, does a world is considered to have an endpoint? Or is it still a maybe because this world hasn't ended yet? You're still a maybe. And we need the last entry. Unfortunately, this list shouldn't be as big. Or should I just go ahead and do 2 points for every world? Well, we do need a value for the last world. So would you then need current time? See, the current time is not going to be a relevant data point for... We're manually setting our range, so if we just throw current time in there... No, we can't just put current time on. And it does have to be if there's nothing in that end time field. But that means we actually have to do a concat map because we're turning this into 0, 1, or 2 entries. Well, no, always 2 entries with the default for defaulting time for the last one. Well, 0 or 2 entries. But it is a maybe. Well, all right. So for the moment, well, no, double type dot start won't help. Actually, nothing will help here. So blah 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 blah. All right, so we just have to have this. POSIX. Now is basically what this is. So we don't really need interpolation anymore. Right, because this is interpolating between these things are the data points. Unfortunately, I don't have the data here, so I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it holds a value until the next value. So really, we just kind of need this for our very last thing, which in the typical scenario, it's just going to be one world, so it's probably fine. I just have to pass time to you, which we should have. We had full model here, right? Also, we have a max. Oh, right, we actually have to fix you up. All right, so you were doing filter map. You're basically going to be concat map now. So we got 30, 30. And there is indeed a line through there. Now we just need to pick a different color for it. There's nothing particularly suggests itself here. Also, we know that, what was that, March 31st? All right, 2021. That's probably going to be a little bit large. A little bit. We can see the change over there. And that's probably the server restart that implemented it. All right, well, we've got... Well, gold is for the monuments. Like, the rest of these are all, like, gray. I wonder if I can get sort of a pastel red. I don't know what it is. There's probably... There are probably good color sites out there. I just don't know where to start. All right, so... All right, RGB 100. This is going to translate as 23, 60, 98. That looks about right. So then we want to switch to you. That's very... Oh, I guess this is a space. It's interesting how they did this. So hue-wise, I guess I keep looking at the pink. I really need to be looking down here. So interestingly, there actually isn't a good red in this space. Looks like we might need L. Very interesting. That changes it, all right. Yeah, you just can't get there. And of course, now we're like kind of all out of the space of being similar to that color. All right, so we were at 23, 60, 98. Nope. Okay, save that. So I kind of wanted that fade-ish color, but it seemed like... It's like saying, yeah, it's invalid. I guess this is holding... No, this is moving 2 dimensions? Holding that one constant, maybe? So what I really want to do is I want to be doing like this. Oh, because that's color, right. I don't think that's one I want to be messing with. We need to do, okay, so here, hue, we want to be in the red space. So it's around here. Color is just going to, It's like showing red, but it's also illegal. So it seems like it would have to be this. Oh, wow, we fell out of range. That is so weird. So this must be a different type of color space here. So what's this? CMYK. Oh. Is this more what we want? Okay, yeah, we're seeing kind of the same range here. Maybe I do want a little pink. Or a little orange. That doesn't look too far off. Caps lock. And that color actually mapped over the same, so this one will map over the same, I believe. And we actually shouldn't need the stepped here because we're putting in both ends. The palette type itself. Maybe I actually just want to use one of my grays. I also think I need to reorder this. Seems like this is the bottom. Because that just sticks out way too much. I mean, probably I could go for like less color, I guess. Let's see, foreground, background, highlight. Unless I want to use divider. I mean, these are really supposed to be color rolls, but... Okay, you hadn't compiled yet. How? They're not red. Oh, nope, that, okay, they switched places. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit... Yeah, something faded out like that could be good. Change foreground. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, are you just completely glitched now? Because I minimized your parent window. Yep. Okay, so it remembers that we think we want... Well, no, we want this. Oh, so this may actually depend a little bit on light versus dark. So like the color we've got might actually work for the light mode. Oh, look, we're in negative territory. I probably should have switched back to like this. So that we can't step outside the bounds. Ooh, that's still very, that needs like a little desaturation too. Over there, straight gray. To 0.35, 0.53. Did we get piled? It is a bit of noise. Maybe a very subtle line is what we need. Just take one of the grays. So the de-emphasis. Should I actually make a separate thing for this? I was kind of borrowing some of the colors before. I could use this to explore which color we want. So it's probably not foreground. And that's still red. I was afraid of that. All right, so that's basically white. I mean, the background probably is background, or maybe it's like an input control color. Yeah, that's like black. Highlight's probably gonna be too bright. Yeah, no, that might be about right. Red. Forward red, please. I mean, I could try to find a red that was about that same brightness, but... And if you knew what was going on, you could probably figure out that that was right around 30. And I guess if I wanted to get fancy, I could also have like a low pop line for 15 for everything else, but that's not yet an issue that I know of. Oh, in fact, we're looking at the data. It's not yet an issue. Well, I guess it could be an issue. Let's see. Special biomes. Min players line. And that's going to be in our notes too. All right, so that is on... I think that's on to testing and bug fixing, basically. Or, just kind of going through little bugs and tweaks. So there's a load order indeterminacy. I should probably go ahead and try this out for at least one day in standard use, see if anything else crops up. We can try to see if there's anything that can be done about order indeterminacy, or at least how we handle the loading there. Oh, and we left the debug login. Probably in model. See, and we would still see the graph here and all of the data at once. All right, well, that's a reasonable cutoff point. That's what I'm usually on. Let's see, so I do want to wrap this up, but maybe bug fixing will be a good thing for Saturday. I'll get back to Notice stuff. That's it for now. Thanks for support from subscribers, and good night.